But based on the research, the data, we've seen our own personal experience and professional experience that sports and entertainment, tourism, pop culture, how you market to millennials is very important. It impacts your business. So we're just trying to get, the Department of Tourism, some of the people in the private sector, the government, to see the benefits of that because they have to run business to benefit the Virgin Islands. Paradise Jam is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of really elevating sports, entertainment, and the actual culture of the Virgin Islands to the masses. And I think there's opportunity for a great technology market here, which still relates to sports. We have groups like Rock City that's from here, music, it's all technology now. So, it's about implementing the right programs that would have those type of impacts. And we have some ideas as a consulting company, and if we could provide those to any clients, we do so, and that's what we're doing with the foundation as we speak.
Elroy, and I just want to continue on the Paradise Jam thing. For tourism, from what I understand how they spend their money, is heads and beds. And obviously, the Paradise Jam bring in these collegiate teams. They play, their family, their friends come in and really support, like Harley said, contribute to the economy. Are you pleased? Are you satisfied where things are at? Would you like to see more in terms of, do you see it as a major tourism driver and whether or not more should be invested to really promote, market and promote this thing?
Yeah, I've been to the Paradise Jam for the past 2 years. Now, it's been, I think, in existence for 15 or more. And, having been to tournaments and, see where the masses supports the tournaments. I think my observation, I don't think people in the Virgin Islands realize the impact
Absolutely.
you know, that the Paradise Jam carry.
I
And
think they take it for granted.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think we look at it as like, okay, it's just a regular tournament, but we're talking about collegiate teams. I mean, I've been there for the last 2 years, and a couple of those teams had first round picks in the NBA draft. I don't know if anybody really paid that attention. So, you know, you can see and duplicate where it's going to take to be a collegiate player from that perspective. And the couple nights I've been there, they had crowds, but not packed to the capacity that I think, as far as, support, what I'm saying? So the impact it has to me, you're going to have kids, parents and family coming to spend money in the economy, which is a great thing. But I think we as a community need to support that too. And once we do that, it should build, and it's an economical benefit. I mean, throughout the Virgin Islands, just having that type of caliber basketball. So that's one of my observations. I don't think we understand the full, awareness of how something like the Paradise Jam can really impact our community.
I'm of the opinion the Caribbean is starting to, if you will, people are starting to recognize the Caribbean. We're not on a major scale yet, but we've had, from the entertainment perspective, we look at our music, acting, sports. I mean, we're really starting to get up there. And it's just a matter of time before someone comes in and say, look, the Caribbean is a real market. It's an underserved market, and we need to really make an investment. And so too often, I believe the Virgin Islands have lost opportunity to the rest of the Caribbean. And I want to kind of talk to you guys from a management perspective, from the business perspective. Where do we have to start? What should be the blueprint? Because we need to really get the stakeholders together to talk about what is that strategic plan to move the territory forward, not just from a sport tourism point of view, but really developing a sporting industry. Because we've had Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, boxing. Matter of fact, we had someone in the Olympics won fencing from the Virgin Islands. So we got talent in all that we take exactly. And so help us to understand, what does a management company do? What can you do in terms of you being a resource and asset to help mold and shape this product?
Well, for us, the way we approach the business is, whether it's a corporation, a nonprofit organization, the Department of Tourism, we build models that help you with your customer base and generate the kind of income you want to generate. For us, what we see in the market is that you have to start here with like the foundation, starting with the tournament, and then with Paradise Jam, showing the university how it makes sense for them to participate in the NCAA's with teams, how it helps the economy, how it helps the kids.
You think the
Eh,
powers that be have made that case in terms of saying, look at this thing. This is a huge profit center. The data shows that if we make the right investment, these are the kind of returns we can get back.
I don't think the argument or the debate has been proposed properly. That's what I think. Because it's not as complicated as most would think. You have Milt Newton, who was just a GM for an NBA team and was groomed to be that. So that means you have an athletic director that can run the University of Virgin Islands, right? You have a top 5 all-time great. So there goes a guy who could be on the coaching staff, an associate AD, or a fundraising helping guy, a fundraising mechanism to get alumni's boosters involved. So you have Tim Duncan, you got Roger Bell, you got people like myself and Kerry who run in a company that helps market, create brands, and get to the masses, or bring in other companies as third-party partnerships. So you have access to the people who are actually even from the Virgin Islands. The thing is we want to be treated the same way we're treated in the States, with the same type of respect for our craft, and be able to implement the things that we know would work. If we have that open door to do that, and it makes sense, it's lucrative for both the Virgin Islands and us, it can happen. No one ever tapped into us until recently. And me getting more involved, I used to do this years ago. Me getting more involved has been a result of my business partner. I've had first-round picks down here. The way we found out about Tim Duncan, we were doing free camps, and we'd have 7 NBA guys attend. We'd have actors, entertainers, the Levert brothers, do free concerts. So we get it, and this was 30 years ago. So now, with social media, with corporate involvement, what sponsorships are trying to do with the younger generation, how they're trying to tap into them as consumers, there's a lot that can be done. I just don't think the Virgin Islands is aware that there's creative people who are in this industry, who are from the Virgin Islands and beyond, that could have an impact on creating something that would be sustainable and profitable.
Elroy, the government has partnered with the private sector. We've invested millions of dollars in Carnival. I think we have celebrated like 60 years of Carnival throughout the territory. There's an annual appropriation of monies that go into supporting Carnival. I know there's a push for the film industry. Could you imagine if there was the same commitment by the government like they invest in Carnival, like they look really consciously invested in film production, that they take the same approach for sports in terms of what the payback would be, in terms of the give back? I mean, am I off base here? I mean, Elroy, in terms of what I'm seeing?
Well, you brought some great points. I look at facilities. I found out like back in the 60s, I think New York and Boston played at the old Lionel Roberts Stadium. You look where we've had Julian Jackson. We've had promoters that promoted certain fights. We got Major League Baseball teams, and we've had dozens of Major League Baseball players that actually played pro ball, that spring training or a nice baseball field where professional teams or major league teams could come and do their spring training at. Like the Virgin Islands is perfect for that. Perfect. I mean, you look